The New Orleans Saints agreed to a trade with the Patriots for wide receiver Ja'Lynn Polk. All right, ladies and gentlemen, surprise on a Saturday here. I did not have doing a video on Ja'Lynn Polk on the bingo card. What I did have on the bingo card was this sweet hat. Look at it. This hat right here, brand new. This is a $9.50, and boom, we got the same hat in white. This is a Richardson hat. They are now on the store. All right, so short supply. But these hats are awesome. I'll tell you that right now. These hats are absolutely sweet. Same design as one of the shirts also on the store. The store is popping off now. You got 6 different hats. You got 4 different shirts. A lot going on. So make sure you get on over there. All right, so let's talk about this Ja'Lynn Polk thing. So real quick, wide receiver Ja'Lynn Polk out for the year with a shoulder injury. So he's on IR. He's having surgery, whatever. And he was traded. Ultra rare that you see a player on season-ending IR being traded, right? So he gets traded. Diana Rossini reports that the Patriots agreed to trade Polk to the Saints. They get a 2027 6th, and they send a 2028 7th with Ja'Lynn Polk to New Orleans. All right, so I like this trade a lot, honestly. I mean, a 2027 6th, whatever. You get back a 2028 7th, whatever. For those of you who don't know who Ja'Lynn Polk is, Ja'Lynn Polk was the 37th overall pick in 2024. So he's a second-round pick in New England. He plays his rookie year. He gets hurt, and you know how it is. New England gets a new everything. I mean, Belichick's gone, Gerard Mayo's gone, Vrabel comes in, they bring in Stephon Diggs. All this is happening. So when that happens, a lot of the times, players who were previously drafted or whatever, they find somewhere else to go. All right. So he ends up in New Orleans. Now, for virtually nothing, all right, I would consider a 2027 6th nothing. Absolutely nothing. For virtually nothing, the Saints get to roll the dice on the 37th overall pick in 2024. Now, you can argue, should he have been the 37th overall pick? Whatever. Time will tell. We'll see. But you talk about zero risk for long-term upside. Now, guys, spoiler alert, we've been saying this for, when did they trade Marshawn Lattimore? We've been saying it since that trade, but the Saints are in a rebuild. This is what you do in a rebuild. This is rebuild activity. Rebuild activity is, let's plan for the future. The rebuild activity is not, the Saints traded for Ja'Lynn Polk. Why didn't they trade for, blank wide receiver to help them right now? Why didn't they trade for blank cornerback to help them right now? Blank safety because Julian Blackmon got hurt. The Saints have a long-term vision. Devon Bailey, they bring in Ja'Lynn Polk now. A lot of upside on these players. I like it a lot. And is Ja'Lynn Polk going to be the difference maker for this team moving forward? We don't know. I have no clue. But just pure value to value, I'm all for it. Value to value, you give up nothing for a guy who, and I've had people reach out and say, is he good? Is Ja'Lynn Polk good? Well, I'll tell you this. He was good enough to get drafted 37th overall, right? And if we look at, let's just take a look at PFF here. So Ja'Lynn Polk, this is this year, but he's 6'2", 6'1", who knows? A little over 200 pounds, 23. This is what he did his rookie year, his rookie season. So he ends up not a lot of work, virtually none, right? But there you go. Played for Washington, the Washington Huskies, if you will. So this is an article from when he was drafted. So let's see here. The New England Patriots added the weapon for their new quarterback, Drake May, in the second round. After trading down from 34 to 37, Patriots selected Washington wide receiver Ja'Lynn Polk out of Washington. Interesting sentence there. Let's see. They claimed they were ready to pick Polk at 34, but they had intel that he'd be there at 37. Polk had 69 catches for almost 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns for the Huskies. 22-year-old racked up those impressive numbers while playing alongside Rome Odunze, who went 9th overall. The reaction to the Patriots pick was mostly positive, including a ringing endorsement from Drake May. Plus, Polk fills a glaring need on the roster, so the pick was an obvious home run, right? Well, not exactly. While some draft experts praised the Patriots for adding much-needed talent at the receiver position, others criticized them for passing on other wideouts who may possess more big play ability than Polk. Some believe Polk at 37 was a reach. Here's a roundup of grades. Philip Perry was a B, so a bunch of Bs here. C+ from The Athletic, C from Sporting News, C from the Tennessean, C+ from Sports Illustrated, then an A from Walter Football. This is the Walter Football scouting report on Ja'Lynn Polk in 2024. 6'1", 203, wide receiver, Washington. Strengths, well-developed route running, advanced technique, tracks the ball well, late hands, body control, tracks the ball well, again, ×2. Dangerous on 50-50 passes, adept at making catches over defensive backs, can make some highlight reel catches, good size build, competitive style, has some run after the catch skills, knows for the red zone, experienced and successful against good college programs. Weaknesses, lacks mismatched speed, lacks twitch, could struggle to separate from NFL defensive backs and man coverage. Prospect summary, Washington had a dynamic passing attack that was led by Michael Penix, Rome Odunze. Then Polk was a contributor in 2022. After missing most of the 2021 season with an injury, Polk started out his collegiate career at Texas Tech. And this guy is quite experienced. Polk could be a solid contributor, number 2 receiver to an NFL passing attack as a possessional wideout. Okay, so something that Saints definitely need. He possesses quality route running technique, plus is a competitive receiver who fights for the football. Polk tracks the ball well, has late hands, and is adept at making catches over defensive backs. Good size and is able to use his build to shield defenders from the football. After the catch, Polk is a good runner and is able to add yardage while showing some strength to break tackles. He shows some good body control along the sideline to stay in bounds while reeling in passes with close coverage. Polk is a well-rounded and competitive wide receiver, has a nose for the end zone. Polk is more of a secondary receiver for the next level because he lacks mismatched speed to go along with not being very fast. Polk is not twitchy or explosive, so he could have separation issues. So he's a possession receiver. The speed and twitch limitations are what make Polk more of a solid number 2 instead of a 1. That being said, Polk could do some real damage against zone coverage as a pro, which is what you see mostly in the NFL now. In the 2024 draft, Polk could end up being a second-day pick. He should not last long if he slips to day 3. Comparison is Josh Reynolds. Polk is reminiscent of Reynolds. They both are solid, polished receivers with good hands but lack speed. All right, so there you go. And again, for virtually nothing to get this guy, I like it. Getting younger, all right? 23 years old. No risk whatsoever. If he doesn't work out, who cares? Move off of him. But I like what the team's doing, and it says a lot about the front office, and it says a lot about Kellen Moore, and it says a lot about this entire organization that they're gearing up for the 49ers, and they're gearing up for all this stuff, and they're dealing with, with Kellen Moore's dealing with being a head coach for the first time, and this team's got a lot of moving pieces already, but they're thinking long-term. And they're taking their chances when they get them. When they have the opportunities to improve the team or improve the roster or do something or make moves, they are. And it shows they don't have the blinders on. It shows they don't have tunnel vision of, just this week or just this matchup or whatever. They're thinking a million steps ahead. So will Ja'Lynn Polk be, the next whoever? I don't know. Just the vision itself, the idea itself, I like. The idea to do this, the idea to flip a nothing pick for high potential player, I like that the Saints are showing that they understand the situation they're in. They understand that they're in a rebuild. They understand that they need to find these pieces, find cheap, high potential pieces that they can get in the building. And now they're building out that wide receiver depth. Going into next season, you're walking around with Devon Vele, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Ja'Lynn Polk. Like now you're starting, not to mention Mason Tipton and everyone else that's already in the building. But I like it. I like it a lot. And I just don't see a negative. I don't see a reason. I know people will hate it. I know we'll see rant alerts and whatever else, but I just don't see a reason to poo-poo this pick. I think it makes a lot of sense. And I think this is what we call in the business, good business, all right, from Mickey and, whoever. So shout out to the Saints for keeping their eyes on the prize even during the season. So this is a video of Dove Kleiman, Ja'Lynn Polk. This is from August 4th. So watching him run a little route here, huh? There you go. So, 37, take your shoes off, son. Head to the lockers. But adding a possession receiver when you need possession receivers for no risk at all, 2 thumbs up from me. 2 thumbs up. So I know we will see the negatives, but I think they're I don't see a reason why, again, if it doesn't work, whatever. You take a flyer on someone who has second-round potential. I like it. Good job, Mickey. All right, let me know in the comments below what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Get on over to the store. Get your hats. Get your shirts. The season is going. Rock the gear. And I'll see you in the next video.